What if law schools needed you more than you needed them? I know it sounds completely backwards because for years, the admissions process has made you feel like they have all the power. They've got the rankings, they've got the prestige, and therefore they've got the leverage. And you're supposed to feel grateful just to get waitlisted. But something huge is changing quietly under the radar, and almost nobody is talking about it. And I'm not talking about LSAT format changes or another US news ranking drama. I'm talking about something structural, something baked into the actual math of the next decade. And once you understand it, you can make law school easier, cheaper, and more accessible than it's been in decades. There is a phenomenon happening right now called the demographic cliff. And it's not a theory or a prediction, it's simple math. Back in 2008, during the financial crisis, Americans had fewer kids, a lot fewer, and the birth rate never bounced back. Fast forward to today, those 2008 babies are now 17 years old, they're finishing law school, applying to college, and in a few years, they're going to be looking at law school. Now, here's the problem. There just aren't enough of them. We're not talking about a tiny 2% dip in the population. We're talking about a 20% drop in birth rates. That is millions of people who simply don't exist, which means fewer high school seniors, fewer college freshmen, fewer college graduates, all translating into fewer law school applicants. This trend is already being tracked in long-term enrollment models, and that demographic cliff is going to start hitting hard over the next few years. And so if you're applying to law school in the next, say, 3 to 7 years, you're entering the system right as this shift is happening. And that gives you real leverage because most people don't know that outside the top 14 law schools, most law schools are tuition dependent, meaning they rely heavily on your tuition dollars to survive. So when applications drop, they can't just say, oh, well, guess we'll admit fewer students. They've got to fill those seats, even if it means loosening standards, becoming more flexible, and being more generous when it comes to scholarship money. And that is already happening. You're going to see more things like application fee waivers, faster decisions, bigger scholarships, and optional essays that are truly optional. You're also going to see more online JDs popping up and schools more willing to match your scholarship offers. Even automatic merit aid for certain LSAT and GPA numbers. And this is not random. This is schools switching from gatekeeper mode to sales mode. The power dynamic is shifting in your favor, and you are not just some anonymous applicant anymore. You are the customer. Now, here's exactly what the demographic cliff is going to do inside admissions committees. First, it's going to lower admission standards. And I don't want to hype this up. It's not going to be dramatically lower, but it could be lower enough that you feel it in terms of lower LSAT cutoffs, lower GPA expectations, more leniency for gaps, career changes, imperfect transcripts, and as a result, more emphasis on life experience and application essays. You're also going to see bigger class sizes. And this surprises a lot of people when I mention it. But if a school used to get 3,000 applicants for 300 seats, and now they only get 2,000 applicants to make their budget work, they're not going to shrink the class. They're going to expand it because more seats means easier admissions for you. That is the result. You're also going to see more scholarship money. And this is just basic economics. When you have lower demand, they've got to raise their incentives. So you're going to see more merit aid, more need-based aid, more fee waivers, more competition between schools, more schools emailing you saying, we can match that after all, and even auto scholarships for hitting certain LSAT benchmarks. So all this shaping up to be the best environment for scholarships you're going to see for the next decade. And you're also going to see schools investing more to attract you. You might think fewer applicants means less spending, but schools are actually going to spend more on new buildings, expanded clinics, high-profile faculty hires, upgraded tech, and new specialty programs because they've got to sell you on applying. And this demographic cliff is not going to hit every school the same way. Harvard Law or Yale Law are not going to suddenly lower their standards, but lower-ranked schools, regional schools, are where we're going to see the biggest changes because these schools run on thin margins, and they are the most tuition dependent as a result. So that means they need you more than you need them. The top schools, the T14, the T6, they're going to be fine. They've got global reputation, strong job placement, and huge endowments. But even they might dip slightly in medians, admit more non-traditional applicants, older applicants, more background diversity emphasis, and more hybrid programs. Now, the mid-tier schools, those ranked, say, 20 to 80, those are where the biggest wins are going to show up. That is your golden opportunity because they need strong applicants to protect their medians, but they've also got to fill seats. So they're going to offer generous scholarships. They'll take in more students slightly below the medians.